In this video, we will look at the touch command. Touch has one basic function. It updates the timestamps of files. I have a file here called myFile. This is a version of the ls command. The -l is for a long format. It displays a lot more information about a file. And we will cover elsewhere in the course what everything means in this output. But for now, I just want to focus on the date and time that you see. That date and time is the date and time that that file was modified. Now, if I run the touch command and give it an argument of my file, the timestamp has updated to the current time. You can see in the bottom right-hand corner, the current time is 1910, and that's the modification time of the file. That's what touch does. It updates the modification time to the current time. That's the default action. If I do a look at what's in the directory, my file is the only thing currently in this directory. So a good question is, what happens if I try to touch something that doesn't exist? So if I touch new file and do an ls, I've created a file called new file. We can look at it. It's a current file. That 0 there, that's actually the size of the file. It's a completely empty file, but it exists. That's one frequent use of the touch command. If you just need a file to exist, you touch file name, boom, there's the file. This is also a good test for permissions. If you need to see if you have permissions in a certain directory, attempt to touch a file there. If you can, then you'll be able to use that directory for whatever it is you're trying to use. The other purpose or idea behind touch is there are some utilities that depend on the modification time of a file. They look, has the file been updated or not? And then they might take some action if the file has been updated. If you want to do that, you could update the file. You could make some change. Maybe you don't actually need to change it. You just need the utility to run again. Touch is a very easy way to do that. You could make a gratuitous change to the file, a change that you don't need to make, but you could make it, but it's just so much easier to touch. We can actually specify a time other than the current time with the touch command. Let's give an example. I'm going to create a file. -t is the argument, and then I give it a timestamp, and I give it with a 4-digit year, a month, a day, an hour, and a minute. So I just said midnight, January 1st, 2001. And let's call that 2001 file. And then if I do ls-l of 2001 file, now if it's a long time ago, this output format doesn't give you the hour and minute anymore. It just shows you the date if it needs to specify the year. If it wasn't this year, then we just specify the month, day, and the year. That file, as far as anybody knows, was modified on January 1st, 2001. That can be handy too if you want to set a specific modification time on a file.